Hi, Kooky Kids. Here's another great story for you today. The Tale of Gelert the Faithful Hound. In the heart of Wales, there was a beautiful castle surrounded by lush green hills and sparkling rivers. In the castle, the prince and his wife were blessed with a newborn son, a precious child they named Evan. As any loving parents would, they wanted to protect him from all harm. Among the many loyal servants in the castle, there was one who stood out above all, the noble hound named Gelert. Gelert was not just a pet, he was a faithful companion, always watching over the prince's family with his keen eyes and brave heart. The villagers would often say, "There is no dog as loyal as Gelert." One sunny morning, the prince and his wife decided to go hunting in the woods. They believed it was a perfect day to catch some game. As they prepared for their adventure, they knew they had to leave little Evan behind. "I trust you, Gelert," the prince said, kneeling down to look into the hound's wise eyes. "You will watch over our son while we're gone." Gelert wagged his tail as if to say, "Leave it to me." With that, the prince and his wife set off on their hunting trip, leaving Gelert in charge of the baby. The hound took his duty seriously, lying protectively by the cradle while Evan cooed and giggled, completely unaware of the world outside. As the day wore on, a dark shadow crept into the peaceful castle. A wolf, hungry and desperate, found its way into the nursery. The creature's eyes glinted with malice as it approached the sleeping baby. Gelert sensed danger and leapt into action, barking fiercely. "Get away from him," Gelert growled, his heart racing. The wolf lunged at the cradle, but Gelert was quicker. With fierce determination, he fought valiantly, biting and clawing at the intruder. The battle raged on, and Gelert proved to be a formidable foe. He defended little Evan with every ounce of strength he had, and after a fierce struggle, Gelert won the battle and killed the wolf. The nursery was left in chaos, with Gelert standing proudly over the fallen beast, but he was covered in blood, both his own and that of the wolf. Just as the sun began to set, the prince and his wife returned home, eager to see their son. However, as they entered the nursery, a terrible sight met their eyes. The room was in disarray, and Gelert, covered in blood, stood beside the cradle. "What have you done?" the prince cried out, horror filling his heart. His mind raced with terrible thoughts. He could only think that Gelert had attacked his baby. Without a second thought, he drew his sword in anger and struck Gelert down, believing he had killed his son. As the lifeless body of Gelert fell to the ground, a haunting silence filled the room. In the midst of the chaos, a soft sound broke through the stillness, a baby's cry. The prince's heart raced as he turned toward the cradle. In disbelief, he rushed over and peered inside. There, unharmed and safe, was little Evan, giggling and reaching for his father. "Evan, my dear son!" the prince gasped, tears welling in his eyes. But then his gaze fell upon the lifeless body of Gelert, and the reality of what he had done hit him like a thunderbolt. "What have I done?" he cried out, falling to his knees beside Gelert. "You were protecting him. I was wrong to doubt you, my faithful friend." As he looked closer, the prince's eyes widened in shock. He spotted the dead wolf lying in the corner of the room. The pieces began to fall into place. "Gelert, you saved my son from this beast," he exclaimed, realizing the truth too late. The weight of remorse crushed his heart. Filled with sorrow, the prince gathered Gelert in his arms, the realization of his mistake flooding over him like a heavy rain. "You saved my son, and I took your life. I am so sorry, Gelert, he wept. With great care, the prince laid Gelert's body gently by the riverbank, a place they had often visited together. He fashioned a grave with stones and flowers, creating a resting place fit for a hero. The villagers came to pay their respects, sharing in the prince's grief. Here lies Gelert, the faithful hound, who gave his life for the prince's son, the prince proclaimed, his voice trembling. He deserves our love and remembrance for his bravery. The villagers mourned the loss of Gelert, and many wiped away tears as they listened to the tale of the brave hound who had saved the prince's child. From that day forward, the tale of Gelert spread throughout the land. People would tell the story of the faithful hound who had protected the prince's son, reminding everyone of the importance of trust, loyalty, and the devastating consequences of acting in haste. Whenever you see a shooting star, the villagers would say, that is Gelert running through the heavens, reminding us of his love and loyalty.